Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at Lightbridge. This was a stock analysis request from one of the followers, and I wanted to let you know that anyone can make these requests and I'll most likely cover them, especially if there is an actionable trade setup to follow. And in the case of this chart, since we are dealing with this all-time downtrend basically, as mentioned in the previous videos, we could very easily expect this pattern to continue lower. Now, the positive side for this larger structure to the downside is that it could be considered complete. We could have here an ABC pattern that wouldn't need any additional low for us to consider discount full and the pattern complete and to allow a larger uptrend to have started. But at the same time, even though in a bearish scenario, in the bearish movement to the downside, we do not need to track continuation, we also don't have a structure to the upside that would suggest we should expect with high probabilities to push higher. Because within this movement, we have a three-wave pattern. In the initial wave up, we have a three-wave correction, which is not a problem, it's even expected. But after that, we actually got a five-wave move to the upside, which could work out within what we have here in the white interpretation as a 1-2 setup, where we would follow with a wave A, we would expect a wave B correction and a wave C to complete the larger wave 3. But what it could also be is just a more regular ABC structure within the wave B in the yellow interpretation, or realistically any other correction that could be had within this overall pattern to the downside within this area. I am preferring it to be a wave B, mainly due to the proportions of this movement, but realistically it could still work out as something like a wave 4, or maybe even part of a larger correction that is yet to be fulfilled. Now, with that said, we have gotten into the area of resistance. We are prepared for a large downtrend to have started, but we are still going to be tracking an area of support here between the $11.3 all the way down to the $3.9 level at the 78.6% retracement. But at the same time, this area of support also serves as a signal that when broken, we should expect with even higher probabilities continuation in this larger downtrend. Now, we do expect, in all likelihood, in most interpretations, to actually get to the area of support. Even if we are to extend higher, I would still highly expect at least to get a brief touch into it, at least to the 38.2% retracement. And yes, it's not within every single interpretation that could work out within this chart, but within the most probable scenarios, we would expect to get at least to that area. And that doesn't seem to be a problem, as within this structure to the downside, I may even prefer that we have a five-wave move down. We could have here a 1, 2, 3, 4th, and the 5th, and this wave 5 may actually even still be ongoing. But once we have the wave 5 complete, or if it is already complete after a three-wave correction into the area of resistance, we could have here a wave B, we could have here a wave 2, we would expect continuation to the downside at least within a wave C, if not something even more bearish like a wave 3, but we would expect after the three-wave pattern into this area of resistance between the $17.7 all the way up to the $25.7 level to form at the very least another five-wave move to the downside that is very, very likely to take us into the larger area of support in the white interpretation. Now, as I was mentioning, there are a couple of scenarios we could realistically be tracking within this five-wave move to the downside even, where we could actually still witness some extensions, and I could realistically track this as a wave 3 complete. I could consider that this wave 3 has only just bottomed here instead, and that we would need a wave 4 correction and a 5th to have the full pattern complete. So even if we form here a larger correction within the wave 4 and we form another move to the downside within the wave 5, I would still be looking for a potential five-wave move to the downside, an initial five-wave move to the downside that would suggest continuation lower after the three-wave correction. But right now, I could consider even that this move alone as the fifth wave is not complete. I could consider that even within this structure, we should be prepared for further continuation lower, and for that we can track the area of resistance between the $14.3 all the way up to the $16.6 level, in which we can actually see, we can notice that we have pushed perfectly into the last level of resistance, and we have gotten here a more significant rejection. Now, within this structure, we only have a three-wave pattern to the upside, and I don't necessarily have a strong preference to hold this area of resistance and continue within this wave 5. It isn't really important to me. Yeah, I'm not too concerned about this small time frame, and while it can provide us some evidence, some not very strong signal anyway, that if we break above the 78.6% retracement, this wave 5 is likely over, or that this is still part of the wave 3, and yeah, the wave 4 and the 5th are still yet to come. But I would still be mainly focusing on the larger area of resistance, yeah? I wouldn't be looking for an uptrend until we actually see a break above the $25.7 level, or until we get an initial 5-wave move to the upside within this area that could be used as a potential one to set up as part of the larger wave C in the white interpretation. But again, the preference still remains to get into the larger area of support at the moment, and until such is the case, I will be heavily preferring continuation lower. I will also be looking ideally for a 3-wave correction within this area. I will also need to see a structure in that manner to consider this pattern complete. Of course, the wave B could also unfold as a triangle, but right now this doesn't seem to be the case. Yeah, as we have the 5-wave move down, we could expect further continuation lower, and we could track this as a wave A complete. Although, once again, the exact count doesn't matter. We are tracking the levels of support and resistance that are highly relevant, and for that we have the last level of resistance at $25.7. Yeah, once again, and the level of support, the last one that remains, is still at the $3.9, and I would expect again at least a touch into the first level at the $11.3 level. And for now, these are the levels. This is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.